Howdy folks, we're going for a walk today. I've decided to walk back down to a small reef that I found, I don't know, a few months ago. We did a big 10k walk from the top of this sort of mountain range down to into a big gully system and then right the way back down, and got picked up in another vehicle. And we didn't do any good on this trip, unfortunately. We didn't get any decent gold, but I did find one reef that was barely worked at all, and it had some nice gold in it. So we're going to try and make our way down there now. You can see I'm still way up on top of the spurs. But anyway, let's go for a wander and track this little digging down and get a larger sample. Because yeah, I'm really keen to go and have a look. Don't know how easy it is for you guys to make out how steep this country is, but I'm thinking I'm probably actually wasting my time, because even if this reef, oh god, even if this reef was 10 ounces to the ton, which it won't be, how the hell am I ever going to get the rock out? So yeah, probably going on a bit of a useless venture here, but oh well, we'll do it anyway, and we'll try not to break a leg because I'm on my own. I'm still only about halfway down. Oh my goodness. Terrible idea. You can really see how steep this country is now. I'm a bit over halfway, and you can see down into the opening of another gully that runs up there. That's the gully that we walked down right the way from the top, down through into here, around the corner here, and then about another 5 or 6 k's downstream, where we got picked up in my other vehicle. So, man, it is rugged out here. I know I've said that already, but there's a good chance that this side of the hill here hasn't been prospected before. You guys probably won't be able to hear it on camera, but there's some wild dogs down the bottom of the gully here. I'd say that they're pups because it sounds like they're playing. So, for the Australian viewers, you'll know that wild dogs are a huge problem here. Aside from all the heartache and grief that they give farmers who have sheep and cattle, they also decimate native wildlife species such as bandicoots, possums, wallabies, roos, wombats, all those sort of beautiful little Australian creatures. They're not really dangerous to humans, but I carry my 12 gauge on me because you just never know when you're going to come across them. And in Victoria, Australia, where I am, there's a $120 bounty on wild dogs. So if you get them, you get paid. And I get quite a few of them and make good money doing it. So it's another sort of income supplement. And I know it sounds terrible shooting a dog, but hey, take one life and save thousands. So we're going to keep a real keen eye out down here now. And I reckon I'll whip the shotty off my shoulder, just in case I get the opportunity. Dog prints. That's an adult too, so I'd say that the noise I'm hearing is the pups playing, fighting down in the creek bed. And there's a mama around also, so they must be pretty young. It's that bloody thick in here, you'd have to nearly trip over them to actually shoot them though. I haven't heard them for a while, so we'll see what happens. I've just found the reef, that's it there I think. Yep, hear that? Just come down into the creek bed to hopefully get Morgan a drink because he's thirsty. Creek bed's dry. But I'll have a bit of a walk downstream and just see whether I can get lucky with these dogs. You just never know. Oh well, I haven't heard anything for ages, so they must have got wind of me. It's a bugger. Alright, have a drink in the creek and then we'll head back to the reef. Ooh, he smells them. He smells them. They're here somewhere. I thought they might have been up that gully, but maybe they're actually down here.
I'd spent nearly an hour up until this point slowly stalking my way down the creek bed, quietly listening, but it wasn't until Morgan put his nose in the air that I knew I was about to get a dog.
Got the bastard. There's more than one here though. Where are you? You're joking, I can't believe I just got that. That was perfect.
Got to give some credit to Morgan the German Shepherd here, don't we? I would have walked away from that junction had I not have noticed that he put his nose in there like that. It was a dead ringer for me. Him and I have been hunting dogs for the last 10 years. I knew straight away that I was about to walk on top of him as soon as he did that. So good job, Morgan, you're a champion. Your chances of shooting a wild dog in close quarters like this are extremely slim. I thought that I'd pretty much used up all my luck by getting that first dog, but I patiently waited about 5 minutes just in case the second one showed its face.
There it was.
Okay, and pause. I cannot believe that I got the opportunity to shoot that second dog. Shooting the first was an incredible feat of luck. Shooting two like that just never happens. That's so lucky. I didn't land the best shot on it, as unfortunately it was running away from me. So I wanted to quickly get after it and make sure that the animal was put down without too much pain. Unfortunately, I was about to make a huge mistake. Please note also that the hammer was down on the shotgun, so there was no chance of the shotty going off or anything like that as I was walking.
Oh, unfortunately I've just dislocated my shoulder. Come on. Ah. Ah. Oh, this sucks. This sucks big time. Come on. Ah. Oh, holy shit, that hurt. Ah. All right. That's one dog down. And we got one more up in the bush here somewhere. Oh, I'm down to my last bullet. Ah.
Well, wasn't that stupid? There was a couple of different factors that led to that injury. One was I was being a little bit impatient. I was rushing. I wanted to get after that dog and make sure it didn't get away. I didn't want to have it suffer or anything like that, even though they're pricks of animals and they need to be eradicated. The second thing was that I wasn't wearing my hiking boots or my combat boots. I was wearing steel cap slip-ons, which are not made for this type of country. They're actually quite old as well, so they don't have very good grip on the bottom. The injury actually occurred not from me falling down and landing on my arm, but from me trying to correct myself from slipping over. The movement, me swinging my arm back to try and catch myself before I fell, actually dislocated my shoulder completely before I'd even hit the ground. So, not good, not good.
Oh man, I don't know how that happened either. Like I only slipped. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at this, we got good blood here. Go on, Morgan, where's it gone? Where's it gone?
The bush was pretty dense through here, so it was tricky to track the dog. Luckily Morgan's excellent at doing that, so I was using him in front of me to track the blood trail so I could follow it along and hopefully get an opportunity to get this dog. After about 5 or so minutes of tracking, I did get the opportunity and I swiftly finished him off.
Well, unfortunately it's no pup. It's a young dog, but it's still fully grown near on. I got one arm, one shoulder that's extremely sore, and I got a hell of a long way to walk back up an extremely steep hill. Oh, why didn't I bring my knife? Landed a beautiful shot on this one. It wasn't going anywhere. And that's another dog, so a male. They're still worth $120 from the government either way, but it's always better if you can get a female, because the females are the ones that produce the pups. Either way, I'm real happy, despite the pretty agonizing pain that I'm in. That was a good hunt. Good work, Morgan. And here's the rock that I slid down and dislocated my shoulder. It's not even bad. Well, what I'm gonna have to do is unfortunately walk back to the car and go and get my bloody knife. There's no other way around this. Go out and we'll have a look at the reef and walk back to the car, and then I'll come all the way back down, I suppose. Dang it. How far have I got to walk out of here, you say? Right up to the top of that saddle. This is not how today was meant to go. It's awesome, but it's very inconvenient. We're back to the reef. Now, what I was trying to say is, this has had no work done on it. Obviously, they loamed it up the hill here. This creek has almost no gold in it whatsoever, which is weird, considering there was some rich mines right at the head of this gully, a couple of k's up. But we're super remote. It's a prick of a spot, and I'm guessing because of that, they haven't done much work here. So what I'm hoping is if I can have a bit of a play around in here and figure out what this looks like, get a larger sample. If it ends up being good, perhaps I can trace it a bit further up the hill and find it outcropping somewhere in a spot that hasn't been found yet. So that's my aim here. This is the reef here. So it's, I don't even actually know how wide it is. It's pretty tricky to tell in the ground here, but I'm guessing it's about that zone there. So it's not bad. And you can see we've got some pretty interesting stuff in here. You can't complain about that. Pretty nice looking ore. So yeah, I'll get a little bit out. I'm not going to be able to get much because like I said, I'm in pain, but I'll see what happens. Oh, look at that bit. Isn't that nice? Bet you there'll be some nice little bits of gold hanging off this. It is roughly what I thought there. We're only looking about 2 or 3 inches here max. But yeah, that is the reef just there. So, not very big, but if it's rich enough, that's okay. Wow. Decent cavitation in there. Obviously we've had some iron pyrite that's oxidized out being so close to the surface. We've got nice green tinges and stuff as well, so there will be sulfides in here. No doubt there'll be I can't do that. No doubt there'll be a sulfide cut-off level here somewhere, but that's something that will just have to be explored over time. Honeycombing and yeah, really good looking shit. This looks like it's going to be a good bit here. Look at that. Oh, that looks quite nice. Alright, just broken into a little bit of a rusty zone here in the middle. Ooh. And yeah, that looks really good. That's super oxidized, so it's been exposed to the elements for a long time. Any gold that was in there, or any gold that was caught up in sulfides in there, will mostly be free gold now, which is awesome. That's what we want. Nice looking stuff. Real nice chunk out, man. Beautiful. Righto. That'll do it. Let's get out of here. The fact that I've got to walk all the way back down is really hanging on my mind. Lyrebird feather. That's lucky. I've had a very lucky day, despite the injury. That's cool. Think I'm about to get hit with some storms. Can hear the thunder rolling in the background. Morgan, grab this bucket and run up the hill. Go on. Get the bucket, grab it. No, mate, pick it up. Oh. Alright, a bit over halfway up, probably 3/4 of the way up nearly now. The ground's finally starting to flatten out as I've reached the top of the spur here. I just got to follow the top of the spur back to the car. Woo! Oh man. What a mission. Whew. Righto folks. Got another 3 rounds just in case. I don't think I'm going to need them, but you never know. Knife, which should have been with me, but unfortunately the sheath broke. Literally lives on my hip always, but the sheath is broken and I haven't had it fixed, so my stupid ass left it in the car. Big mistake. You're too old to do this walk again. I think you should stay here. You're too old. You're too old, mate, aren't you? You won't be able to walk for days if I take you back down there. It's way too far. Come on. Good boy. You stay. Well, halfway back down now, and at least the rain's easing off, which is good. You can even see a little bit of blue sky over there. Woohoo! Made it. Oh man. Taking the bag off is the easy thing. Getting it on, oh man. I'll spare you the gruesome details. Alright, that's it. Tip of the tail, 4-inch strip along the back, and then the whole scalp, all as one piece. Yeah, so I didn't have any plastic bags with me, but luckily I've always got plenty of sample bags. Alright, let's get out of here. I had a hell of a walk. 3/4 of the way up. I'm getting close. I made it. I'm still alive. I'm just worn out. Too many Ks in steep country. Happy to see me, bud? Hey, did you have a good nap? Oh, that's good. Well, that's mission accomplished. Didn't get as much rock as what I was hoping for, but got 2 dogs. It's 240 bucks in the bank. And I still got a little bit of a sample, so we'll be able to see whether we got any nice gold in there now. I reckon there will be some pretty good stuff in there, so we'll chuck it through the plant first chance I get, and that'll be the next video you see. I've gone up to the crushing plant. I'm still very sore, and I'm working one-handed, so you'll have to bear with me, but here's the ore that we got out the other day. Get a better view on that. I know that a lot of you guys really like to see this stuff up close, especially me good buddy Jethro. So I always try and get a couple of nice close-ups of the rock for you. There's not a lot of quartz visible in it, but it is mostly quartz. Quite a bit of other shit in there. It's always good to see a nice bit of iron staining and such, isn't it? This is quite soft. There you go, here's a nice bit. This bit's got quite a bit of mineral and stuff in it as well. Yeah, good looking stuff. I figured I may as well go up to the plant and run this stuff through, because I don't really need 2 hands to do any of this, do I? So yeah, we'll run that rock through the jaw crusher, and then we'll put it over the plant, and we will see what happens. I've made some pretty drastic changes here to the plant again. I've been talking about it for years, reducing my mesh size, my screen size on the output. So this is about 30 mesh, and I've finally reduced it down to a 50 mesh. So looking at the difference there, you can see the 30 was a lot larger than what the 50 is. So on the micron scale, we're talking 297 micron, and this one's I think 595 micron. So we're actually reducing our grind size in half. So I'm hoping that's going to release a little bit more gold for us.
Unfortunately, it's opened up another Pandora's box, like it does anytime I change anything on this crushing plant. I've got a lot of oversize coming out of the screen now and heading back to the ball mill. So get a weight on this sucker. No, we won't. The batteries are flat. Alright, CR 2032. I reckon I got one of them. Alright, I got power. Let's have a look. 12.8, so call it 12 kilos. Which isn't a lot. It would have been nice to get 20 kilos out of there, but as we know, I was cruising out with one hand, so it's pretty tricky. 12 kilos will do. We'll be able to see what comes out of that. Start off with the spiral wheel. Get a bit of water. Shake a deck. Well, that did not work very good. Righto. Let's see what we got here. Didn't actually seal that much, so don't know, it's anyone's guess at this stage. Bloody hell, there's not much in there. You're telling me I went through all that pain for nothing?
Oh, well, welcome to gold mining, eh? Sniff out some material from in the ball mill hopper here. Unless it turns out that reef is really chunky. Pan that down and see what we get. Some nice thunderstorms in the background. So the gold in that reef is quite chunky. As you can see, there's quite a few nice little flaky bits there. That's very cool. And they were not there before that because I cleaned that hopper out in the last video, so that's interesting. It's still not quite as good as I'd hoped, I wouldn't have thought, but anyway, I'll try and sniff out a bit more from in the hopper because it was dead clean, so anything that's in there is definitely from this reef. Try and get everything out that I can, and we'll see how much gold we've actually got. So that's not too bad, I'm happy about that. That's not too bad, you know. There's actually some quite nice chunky stuff in there. And it doesn't look super pure. Like if I had to guess, maybe about 75% gold, 25% silver. But that's still not a bad result. Some pretty chunky stuff. I'll get all the magnetics out of it, so the iron and everything, down at the bus, and then I'll get a better weight on it. But I mean, the grind size, pretty good now, you gotta admit. It's very fine sand. So, grind size is excellent, but the question is now, like, am I grinding too fine? This is causing so many other dramas. The new 25mm conduit did not work whatsoever, it just blocked up. It did work better than the 50mm though, but it still didn't work right. Going to attempt a little experiment that I tried a while ago that didn't quite work. What I've got here is some mercury that's perfectly dry on this paper towel. I'm hoping that I've got about 2 grams here. Which I did pretty well there, so that's exactly 2 grams of dried mercury, so there's no water weight in there. And what I'm curious to see here is if I keep that 2 grams of mercury and then add it to the gold that I recover each time I do a sample, will the mass increase because of the gold content, or will it play funny buggers with us like it would during a specific gravity test if the gold was underwater? So what I'll try in this case is yeah, just adding this 2 grams of mercury to that gold that we got. And then I'll wring it out and we'll dry it and we'll see how much gold we actually get once it's melted. If it gives us the same information when the gold's absorbed into the mercury, well then we don't really need to retort it each time we do a sample. We can simply add it to the mercury and then get our new weight off it. So I'm really curious to see whether this will work. You could stand here for hours shaking your pan trying to get that mercury to amalgamate with the gold. The quickest and easiest way to actually get the gold and mercury to amalgamate is to add it to a small container that's got a good seal on it and then shake the hell out of it. So that's all of our material in the bottom of that there. Add our lid and shake the hell out of it.
About 10 minutes, there won't be a speck of gold left free in this container. It'll all be amalgamated. Didn't take long at all for all the gold to get absorbed into the mercury. There was not a speck left in that pan. I dried it off in some paper towel and then weighed it dry. The mass increased by 0.18 grams, so there's a good chance that there's around about that amount of gold in there. I'll retort it, and then we'll melt what's left, and we'll see what's in there. Gone forever. Well, I think I'd call that a successful experiment. I'd assume there would have been a little bit of iron, some quartz and other stuff stuck to some of those chunkier pieces of gold, so that might have been where the extra 0.02 worth of mass came from in the mercury weight. But we got a really close number. That's awesome. Which means in future, I can take a dry weight off any of the mercury amalgam that I collect as I'm doing my samples. There's no need to actually melt it up each time. I can simply add to the existing mass that was there each time that I do a sample. I'm really happy with that result, so that's cool. Now, ending up with 0.16, that means that from that 12 kilos, that puts us at around about 13 grams to the ton, which given the gold purity isn't an amazing result, but it also isn't a terrible one. So you're looking at around about 10 grams to the ton of pure gold, which would typically be a good result for me. But given the extremely tricky access into that area, I don't think that I'll be mining that one. But I will still walk around that hill further up on the same line as what I measured the reef with my compass. And you never know, I might get lucky further up the hill closer to the track and get onto some good gold there. Either way, great adventure. Thanks for coming along, everyone.